Hello everyone, and welcome to a live stream. My microphone was still on during the intro. And I think that... I think you heard me clear my throat. Oh well. Did it make you jump? I try to not do that too much on stream, you know, it's not the nicest sound. But it's kind of funny. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. Well, the microphone was actually on purpose, but that had to do with an earlier thing. You know why my microphone was on? A long time ago, I think it was a year ago or so, I, halfway the intro, briefly unmuted, made a meowing sound, and then muted myself again. And apparently that did get some people. So I tried that again. I did make the meowing sound earlier during the intro. No one reacted to it, but I forgot to mute myself again. And noticed right after I cleared my throat. Yeah, the hour goes with the American things. Hello, Niste. Welcome. And Carrie and everyone else. Thank you for the 24 months, by the way, Carrie. Before we start, have you guys heard about that Roller Coaster Tycoon has turned 25 years old? Because it has. And there was an interview with Chris Sawyer. Let's see, that's a different one. Ah, there we go. I did hear there was a milk truck accident in your country. Well, I didn't hear about that. This one. So, this is actually the official RCT thing. We've verified that. I say we, because I'm also a moderator here. So, this is the community Q&A. And the funny thing is, I got the first question. I got credited. I'm the only one who got credited. And quite a few people apparently thought that I asked all the questions. Which is not true. I only asked the first one. The reason I'm credited is because there was a post a while ago which was like, if you could ask Chris Sawyer one question, what would it be? But I was asked that personally because I'm in contact with the social media manager of Atari. For reasons you'll see not too long from now. Thank you for the 14 months, Klausowski. I must say I'd hoped for a little bit longer answer from Chris Sawyer's. But, you know, we get what we get. Milk truck fell all over the highway, milk leaking. Ooh. Are a lot of cats drinking it all up? Yeah, he likes his lawns mown neatly into stripes. I don't like that. I don't like the way it looks. I really don't like the way it looks. That's not true. But I do like a plain lawn more than a mown lawn. Then I took this screenshot. That was mine. And I took this one. You guys might recognize this one. We do give our cat milk, Carrie, but it's special cat milk. So I presumably that's not bad for the kitties. I've seen that before. Kitty drinking milk on the highway after a crash from some kind of truck, which is why I was thinking about it. But yeah, I will be doing something special for the 25th anniversary as well. So you wait for that. Anyway. Love the hardline also. Yeah, you just had other people tell him it was shit. Let's do build your own Six Flags park. Now what we're gonna do here is I just want to get a lot of guests. And also play around with some new plugins. Which is gonna be interesting. So we're gonna start this at like $10. Now I'm gonna alter a few things after we build the merry-go-round and make some noise. Also, thank you for the 17 months Aniela. Didn't, oops, missed that earlier. Alright. Don't drink milk from the highway. Oh, there go my Saturday evening plans. I love highway milk. RCT has plugins. Well, it's had plugins for a long time. A few years. So, I want to change a few things. No, not here. There. I want to make guests richer. So that I can ask more. Make more money. An average of 250 should be fine. I love Highway to Hell. I have a custom saved design that's called Highway to Hell, but I don't have it available right now because it's on the inverted coaster. Okay, you know what? Let's lower this to $2. $1. That way guests will actually come. You're going to be tinkering with the soft guest cap. Well, I do want to be getting a high soft guest cap today. Apparently some people thought I said for a while soft gas cap. G-A-S. Don't know what that would mean. For highway milk. Ooh. Well, there you go. Hey, we have our first guest. You know what? Gonna do that. Will it make this? Drown that one. Well, luckily we do have a massive drowning pond. Right there. Oh, if you wanna... I will tell you already right now. I can't say anything more about it yet, but... If you want to experience everything, clear your schedule on Friday. I don't expect any of you to be able to actually do that, because, you know, school, work. Well, actually, it'll be Good Friday. So, some of you may have the day off. Anyway, let's test out one of the new plugins that I found. Well, already found. I saw people using it. Okay, look at this. This is the force visualizer. It's coloring the ride depending on the forces that you experience in on every tile. I think this might be... yeah, this is for all forces combined. Hey, thank you for the 25 months, Cringe. Oh, he also had to name a ride of your choice already. Name the merry-go-round soft gas cap. Alright. So, these are the forces for looping Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. Now, it's not terribly exciting, this. But yeah, red is an extreme color. Okay, so we can do vertical and lateral Gs. You have low, moderate, and excessive. And you can also set your own thresholds. Which is really nice. For example, if we do much lower. Can we scroll here? No, we can't. Ah, whoops. Yeah, that one. Vertical goes the other way. Let's do visualize forces again. Ooh, that's red. A lot is red here. But you can also decide to only do vertical or only do lateral. This is really nice to discover where the problems with your rides are. The reason it only uses 4 colors, by the way, is because you only have 4 color schemes available. Because it actually changes the color of your ride. You know what? I think I like these colors. Oh, you can't keep them? I wish you could keep them. I wish there was an option that would be like keep the colors. That would be nice. No, I can't be arsed to do it myself. I'll just do it like that. Close enough. But that's how that works. I don't think I'm gonna need it very much, because I have a lot of, you know, experience with all that stuff. But it's very nice if you're not as experienced and looking for where the problem is with your ride. Okay, let's get some stalls going. And since we're getting a lot of guests, that's one of the goals. I will be placing down some microcoasters. Which one? 000 is a good one, I think. Okay, that doesn't quite fit like this. The merry-go-round should be moved by 1. There's another fun plugin that I did actually just randomly find today on the plugin directory. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it should be moved to another one. Because then it will fit what I want to do here. No, not like that. There we go. Hi, Mighty Matt. Good to see you. I'm doing well, thanks. Excited for next week. What is that with can't change operating mode? I need corkscrew cheap path. That's the best one. I'll destroy that one. I have so many variants of that little tiny corkscrew. But this is the best one. Title should be getting a ton of guests, not cheating. I mean, yeah, otherwise it's just press that button a few times. Although some people would kind of consider what I'm doing right now cheating, I guess. Oh, I don't have the cash. You know, I still find it funny. Remember when I did episode 2 of my Marcel Plays RCT series? I built a couple of microcoasters just to attract more guests, to make more money so that I could build more coasters for the rest of the park and the rest of the video to improve the video. People didn't like that. They didn't like that at all. So the next one, which was Leafy Lake, I didn't build any microcoasters. I really didn't build many rides at all, but the rides I did build, I put a lot of time in. What I did do was instead I advertised a lot. Which is just as overpowered. Yet folks have no issue with that at all. And I guess you don't really see the advertising, and I guess it's more realistic. But I still find it a bit weird. Alright, this should attract enough guests for a while. Let's get some handyman on the move, some mechanics, some entertainers. Charge 50 for this. And then we'll have some good income. These attract 800 guests together. Which should be enough for a while. And then I'm also going to advertise. It's less about how overpowered something is and more that custom built rides are more interesting. Right, but I was still making custom built rides. I was just quickly plopping down a few microcoasters just to attract more guests. Okay, so I found this plugin called OpenRCT2 Statistics. And I would have loved... This is just tracking the time that I'm playing in a certain park. I would have loved for this to have existed since I started years ago. But unfortunately, I only found out about this very recent one. But it'll track the time I'm in OpenRCT2. I have the time... I think I have a park open. Granted, sometimes I will spend pretty much an entire day with the park open while not doing anything. Oh, look at how many guests we are getting. And we don't even have a positive award. Or do we? No, we don't. It's a shame I can't track my time in OpenRCT2 because Steam, even though I use Steam, Steam doesn't track it because it doesn't count as you playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, which is a shame. So I have played the actual vanilla game a bit, so you know, it still has a few hours, but maybe like 15 hours, 20 hours, not much more. Okay, now this ride. This ride should get your heart going. Because this ride is going fast, baby. Higher. Ooh, hell yeah. Through the loops. We'll just put a big turn here. What coaster types are available? These. Okay, this is gonna be some excessive lateral or vertical G forces. That's fine, the guests can take it. Speaking of available rides, I should increase that. Okay, how about some brakes? Yeah, they'll be fine. If those brakes fail... Oh, I think guests are dead regardless, because that didn't look good. I was gonna say, if those brakes fail, guests are dead. But, yeah. What I can do is already put a brake here. And do that. There we go, that looks much, much better. One sus swinging coaster, please. Alright. Do we have floorless available? No, not yet. They're probably already blacked out on the loop, so we're not going that fast. Maybe like 140. Not even in the loops. We're going less than 80 at the top. That's fine. They'll be fine. This ride is not violent at all. I do wonder what happens if we visualize forces on this ride. We only go to 2.1 laterals, no need to negative 2.5 negatives. It's not that bad. I don't know where that quote comes from, but it's quite a recent one, I think. I don't know what we're at, but I believe we're not yet at 900, so... Must be a recent one. Okay, let's see if we can... Well, what's that? Force visualizer. Okay, we'll do this at 5. This at negative 2. Do that at negative 1. This at 3. This was 1.4. I don't know what the original values are, but... Yeah, let's do all forces. Now let's do only vertical Gs. Let's see what we get. Ooh, we got a few red ones there. It's really a shame we can't keep these colors, because it's quite a nice and easy color scheme. Alright, let's have a drink. Nice. Does this park have some water? Yes, it does. Still not banned. Come on, Carrie. If you were any slower, I would have to ban you. Yeah. I'm on hotel internet. No excuses. Yeah, I always keep wondering, right? Does that work? Gary's thinking about that double penetration. I mean, I made the... Well, I wasn't the original one who made the joke. But I wonder, right? Does that advertising ever work? Because it was some website they said to go to buy followers and whatnot. Like, I have, at the moment, 137 viewers. Which is quite a lot. So, I definitely wouldn't follow any, you know, wouldn't buy any of that. I guess maybe desperate people with one viewer would do it. But they're the wrong address. In my, from my channel, if they wish to actually sell followers. The people who fall for that scam are desperate for attention and approval. It's sad. Yes, I guess so. Okay, let's make a rainbow launched freefall. And it's really unfortunate that people do keep falling for it. But the thing is, it must work. Because if it didn't work, they wouldn't be doing it. Okay, what we can do is go around it like that. And then it just about fits. It is kind of the same with like the Nigerian prince and stuff. Only the most desperate people will fall for that. And it's kind of a self-selecting thing. Wait, did I already drown 420? I wanted to do that, but I don't know if I remembered to do it. Well, they're not in the park. Did I actually drown them? I don't remember. There's a good chance I did. Okay, I did. So it's such a casual act for me that I just forget. Oh yeah, about the self-selecting thing. Let's say you make your original email so believable that 5% of people falls for it. Usually after your original email about whatever scam, you don't immediately ask for money. You ask for something else. You know, first you kind of establish contact, that kind of stuff. It's only after a few more back and forths that you finally ask for money, usually. And if you get a lot of... If your first email is really believable, then a lot of people who do respond will quickly after realize, oh, this is weird, this is a scam, I'm out. And then the scammer has wasted extra time on those people. While if your first email is really kind of out there, then the idea is that the only people who will respond are the people who are the most gullible, or lonely, or whatever, and are more likely to not suspect anything during the follow-ups. And because it's so incredibly easy to send an email to thousands, tens of thousands of people, that seems to be the most effective way of doing it. There was an F1 team called Arrows in '99, fell for a Nigerian prince scam. So they had a sponsor called Team Mines that was a fake brand that was meant to be an idea to market to people. Oh wow. Wait, did I build two different launched free falls? Because some of these have different paths. Hang on. Yeah, I built three... Are they? They're the same height. They are the same freefall, but they're different designs. Because I have freefall alley freefall 1, 2 times, and I have 0 freefall with path 4 times. honestly, it's kind of hard keeping track of all the saved designs of different droids I have, because I never delete them. I can't remember the last time I've actually deleted a saved design. Yeah, anybody can fall for a scam. I mean, I once did when I was 17. Didn't result in anything. Some kind of computer virus thing that, thanks to good actions of my brother, ultimately did not result in any harm. But it can happen. You know, I was a naive 17-year-old, but it can also happen to just 35-year-olds who are versed on the internet and are generally well, you know, generally well-reasoned people. I mean, Linus Tech Tips, the tech YouTube channel, got hacked not too long ago. I got scammed trying to buy tickets for a historical site in Rome. They claimed they were selling me one thing and delivered something else. Yeah, that can also happen. Now, of course, that's a kind of a different scam. That's kind of like an eBay scam of someone saying, hey, I'll sell you this thing, and then they don't send it. I don't consider that really being... I mean, you're being scammed, but it's different, right? Now, with these free falls, we can suddenly charge an insane amount for the entrance. Because they're worth like 15 each. So we can probably already charge 150. Yeah, so what is spearfished actually? Because I kind of forgot how it works. Wasn't it like they opened some kind of PDF that they thought, well, that was coming from a sponsor? Something like that? Max money is high. Yeah, I changed it to 250 on average. Spearfishing is just fishing after a single specific target. Alright. I guess I should be more aware of that as well. I'm not that big, of course, but I am bigger than and more notable than the average person. Okay, we're kind of... have a lot of intense rides now. Let's go for some less intense stuff. A nice, quaint junior ride. I almost fell for a Netflix scam saying your account was hacked and tried to download something to my PC. Oh. I forgot what it was for, but it was a while ago, and I don't remember much about it. But I downloaded something, and it was a .exe file, which I promptly deleted. Well, that was a few years ago. But yeah, if you're not careful, a lot of things can go wrong. I also remember once, I was trying to download a game, and then I tried to run it, and then my Windows Defender said like, hey, that's a virus. And then I was like, no you stupid idiot, that's just OpenRST2. Let's go this way. Will this work? Bye. Yeah, this can work. We have... I'm thinking... The reason right now I'm a bit hesitant to build all kind of stuff is... Because I'm thinking about place for the exit and entrance lines and buildings. Beam. Hey, welcome! 97. All the way from the Dutch Rollercoaster Tycoon streamer to an English one. I mean, I am Dutch, but, you know. We do it in English here. I've had programs I've written and compiled myself to get quarantined by Windows Defender. That kind of makes sense, right? Because you write a program, it's likely not going to have any kind of... Maybe you did, but I imagine it would not have much of any kind of certification. To your computer, it would just be a bunch of random uncertified code. I mean, you wrote it, but maybe it doesn't know that. One scam I saw a lot in my spam folder was I put the malware on your computer, recorded you wanking, and now if you don't pay me some high amount of Bitcoin, I'm going to send all the videos to all of your contacts. Yeah, I've never gotten that one, but I've heard about it a lot. And it's so stupid. Like, for me anything like that's impossible anyway. Because my webcam is, I mean, it's always plugged in, but it's not in using position when I'm not using it. If I use it, I put it on top of one of my screens and point it towards me. But when I'm done, I always just put the little cap in front of it again so that it doesn't see anything in the first place, and just take it off the screen and put it down behind it. And right now it's like pointing to the ceiling. I say pointing to the ceiling, it's pointing towards the cap in front of the lens cap. Oh yeah, fraud notifications. My stepdad has gotten a few texts that are like, "Hey Dad, this is your son. I'm in Ireland and I'm out of money. Help, please send money to this account," or whatever. I mean, he doesn't fall for it. Thank God. He's not stupid. Not necessarily that you're stupid if you fall for that, but you're kind of a certain kind of gullible if you do. Oh yeah, I have a new phone number. You can delete the other one. For me that's extra funny, because I've told, you know, mentioned to my mom, for example, because we both transferred to a new phone very recently. And I've mentioned to her, and she to me, how nice it is that we don't have to bother anymore with putting a lot of effort into keeping your phone number. Because that all just happens now. So that would never happen, that some of us randomly gets a new phone number. The one I am kind of scared about is people replicating your voice with AI. Which of course with me is easier than your average person. You know, because people could call my mom and, you know, have some AI voice being me. We have already talked about it, and I was like, you know, ask some hyper-specific stuff about speed skating or something. Or, you know, something that only I could know. Only we could know. Some memory about the past. Mom picked up the phone. Hello, everyone! Oh, hang on, it's getting stuck. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another phone call. Alright, this launch is fast enough. How do we know this isn't AI? Right now, I mean, I know your question is not serious, but I'm kind of going in on it seriously. Right now, AI is not advanced enough that that is a problem yet, right? Because you could make a somewhat believable video using my voice as AI, I guess. Being like, oh, I'm gonna drown some guests today, in kind of an AI voice. But actually making a live stream that is not easily detectable as AI, especially doing very specific stuff, doesn't work yet. I'm currently using an eSIM with an Austrian number for traveling. You know what's nice about the EU? I don't have to care about anything at all when I'm traveling. If I go outside of the EU, or I don't know if it's necessarily the EU, might be more countries than just the EU, but if I go outside of Europe at least, I will have to worry about that. But right now, I don't. Which is really nice. It used to be that you got like a special bundle. You know, you would have like a 6 gigabytes a month data plan. And you would get, if you get outside, you would get like 500 megabytes for free. Even that's not a thing anymore. You just have the exact same bundle and service. Oh right, I still needed to build a suspended swinging coaster. Kind of forgot, but let's go. Who asked that? Rainbow Phoenix. Better late than never, right? Have I heard of Pal World? Yes. I heard that it was kind of a Pokemon clone, but not really, but I don't know. People thought Nintendo would sue, but Nintendo hasn't sued. That was basically the thing, right? I wouldn't want to hear Marcel with an American accent either. Well, that's my best American accent. It's not good. I can tell you that. But my accents are shit. Nintendo basically said, we knew about it, stop telling us about it. That reminds me, not necessarily of a specific situation, but there have been situations where people within YouTubers would be like, oh, this YouTuber dead YouTuber or something. And then everyone will be like, ooh, what's gonna happen, you know? And then, but the YouTubers both knew about it and it was nothing. You know, people trying to stir up drama where there is none. Still a Dutch guy trying to be a Yank. I don't think I'm doing an accent there. I'm more just distorting my voice. Kind of the stereotypical annoying American, you know, bit like Lois Griffin. Peter. But that's all I can do. That's all I can do. My accents are... I mean, I can do a good Dutch accent. Of course, my natural accent is Dutch, but I can also do a very good over-the-top Dutch accent. You know, the worst Dutch accent you have ever heard. I can do that. You know, it's not an accent, it's an accent. I'm going to the Netherlands on Tuesday. Where will you go? Hopefully not Amsterdam. Because no one likes Amsterdam. Amsterdam, of course you did. Guess 2024. Well, they're not in the park yet. Won't be far off the... Oh wait, they are, never mind. On the second page. Bye bye, 224. I think I've properly been to Amsterdam once. Which was in 2022. And by properly going there, I mean actually going to Amsterdam. Because I've been to the Ziggo Dome a few times. The big concert hall. But just going there and immediately leaving, I don't really consider as going to Amsterdam. But once, you know, in 2022 I saw Nightwish. And then after that, the morning after, a friend and I spent a little bit of time in the center of Amsterdam, you know, going to some shops and stuff. Which I do count as actually going to Amsterdam. So that is the first time, and I believe so far only time I've ever been to Amsterdam. Properly been. Maybe a long time ago I've been... Like, I've probably been to Amsterdam several times for, like, random stuff. Going, like go one place and then leave again. Yeah, I've been to the zoo. I've been to Artis. But that was also kind of a, you know, get out moment. You anything about the Middle East? Do you mean to ask if I know anything about the Middle East? I know lots of things about the Middle East. I know quite a few cities and stuff. Know all the countries. Know the flags. Wait a minute. What's missing here? Like, I know what's missing. Do you guys see what's missing here? There's something important missing here. The banner. Yes, how did that happen? Weird. And open. It's another 8 of those bad boys. Oh, I love that synchronized sound. You know, one thing I find a shame about the Middle East. Now, there are lots of things that are shames about the Middle East, but I'm going to keep it a little bit less political, I guess. Is, you know, the tower in Dubai, the Burj Khalifa, right? Yeah, less spicy, let's call it that. Yeah, the big tower in Dubai, Burj Khalifa, tallest building in the world, 821 meters, something like that. It's beautiful. And now, it is in the Middle East. Took the record from, I think the Taipei 101? Taiwan? I'm not sure. That was the highest at some point. The one without a sewer. I believe that's just a myth. I believe that was only during construction for a while. I read that. I'm not... Don't quote me. I'm not sure. Anyway, in Jeddah, there's the start of the Jeddah Tower. Which was supposed to be even taller than the Dubai Tower, than the Burj Khalifa. It was supposed to be over a kilometer tall. But it was never finished. It's just standing there at like the first 100, 200 meters or so. Doing nothing. Which is such a shame, because I like extreme things. I would have loved there to be a building over a kilometer tall. And that might be built sometime in the future, but it seems kind of that the race for the tallest building in the world has kind of finished. And it's not really worth it anymore. Okay, what we should do is add some stalls and shit. Oh, the Ryugyong Hotel in North Korea, yeah. It's over 300 meters tall, but it's not in use. I didn't know the name of the hotel, but I had heard of it. It's basically just a shell. Do you think we live in a computer-generated dream world? The Matrix? No. Can I prove it? Obviously not. No, there's no reason to think that. Have you heard about the In-Tempo towers in Benidorm, Spain that has a lot of issues? No, I haven't actually. Okay, let's add some trees to make the whole thing look slightly prettier. What's a good tree to spam around a bit? It's kind of a little bit of a bright colored one. No, this one. The incest cedar tree. Okay, there's no space there. I kind of fully built that. I could have just manually built a few. Because now I got to delete some because they're too close together and it doesn't look nice. Well, it looks better than nothing. Poor planning led to unsafe working conditions for the builders, construction outpacing design, and the construction elevator collapse, which injured several of the 13 workers aboard. Efforts to assist these people were hampered by design flaws which did not permit emergency vehicles onto the building site. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like some asshole guy who, some asshole like corporate investor or whatever, wants everything rushed. That's mostly how those things go wrong, right? So sure, sometimes shit happens. Accidents happen, sometimes people will die. You can't prevent everything. But a lot of the times it happens because people don't want to spend money or time on safety. And that sucks. A lot of death in construction, as a lot of other things too, are entirely preventable. It goes for a lot of things. You know, on the internet, and I've done that too, often criticized is the American road system, which is dangerous, and we know how to make it safer, but people don't for several reasons. Usually being money and power. But it's not just that, that's just one example that I happen to know a fair bit about. It's a lot of different things that are like that. And that happened in the Netherlands too. I don't know much about a lot of other things, so I don't know any specific examples. But I'm sure that in the Netherlands, in construction designs and a lot of different stuff, corners get cut as well. If I remember correctly, there was like corners cut in the Enschede fireworks disaster. It happened before my time, so I didn't experience it in real time. Okay, I was 3 when it happened, so that counts as before my time. Belgium, for example. I mean, Belgium is just a total loss entirely. We should just completely scrap it and redo Belgium from the start. From scratch. I'm trying to have the soft guest cap keep up with the guest count, but it's a lot of stuff. What is our guest count? Oh, 4,100. I'm quite a bit ahead of it, actually. I didn't expect it to be that high. Well, that's good. It's very good. You can see the consistent guest increase. Today I played some RCT on the iPad and got to Harmonic Hills. Do you have some tips how to cheese that scenario to beat it? Lots and lots of motion sims. They're small, they fit everywhere, even up your butt, but also everywhere in Harmonic Hills. The issue was there were too many fireworks and not all fireworks were registered to that storage. Yeah, that also counts as cutting corners. In the Netherlands, we don't blame people for accidents, we blame the system and try to find out how we make it safer for everyone. Well, we definitely do blame people, but we also blame the system. Like, if someone crashed in the middle of the city with 120 kilometers an hour, where you're allowed to go 50, we definitely blame the person, the crazy person who drove that fast. But we also indeed or it should be, and often does happen, is that we are like, alright, but why is it even physically possible to drive that fast? That kind of stuff. And you know, if your road happens to be a bit longer and a bit straight, you know, you could put in speed bumps, but at some point it might be inevitable that it is possible to go very fast. Drink some water. Oh, thank you. Where we do very much look closely at, okay, what went wrong, how can we improve it, is junctions. That kind of stuff. If a collision happens in a junction and no one was going too fast and, you know, then the design philosophy is, or at least should be here, that someone might be at fault, but whatever happens, the junction is also at least partly at fault. Why did someone die there? What happened? Why didn't the car see the person? Or the driver see the person? There's always a reason. Maybe the driver was tired, didn't pay much attention. But maybe the junction is also has some blocked sight lines. Who knows? Belgian word of the year 2018 was moordstrookje. For the unseparated bicycle paths. Oh yeah, those are dangerous. We do have them in some places here, but not a lot. And I never like cycling on them. They don't feel safe. Hey Tanner, haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. And thank you for the 13 months. There's an article a couple of weeks ago in a Dutch newspaper about how an older couple couldn't rent anything anymore because the husband was storing 350 kilograms of fireworks in the house. It was really weird because the newspaper tried to paint the couple as victims instead of the danger they really were. Yeah, I heard about that. You know, at first I thought also, well, you know, I do feel, especially for the wife who said she didn't know anything. But then I was like, wait, 350 kilos? How does the wife not know about that? It's not like they had a massive villa. They had, I believe, some kind of apartment somewhere. And yeah, that is incredibly dangerous. Now, of course, they shouldn't be homeless. They should still be able to get some kind of shelter. Some kind of place to live. Because ultimately, nothing happened and they didn't have any ill intent. But I do understand there being restrictions. How are you? Yeah, I'm doing alright. Looking forward to next week. It's gonna be an exciting week. How are you doing? They were in the social rent. The company forbade them from renting something. They can still rent something through private housing. That's at least 3 to 4 times as much. Alright. Or any other companies, right? Or did every company ban them? There's more than one renting company in the Netherlands. Pretty good actually, good to hear. Even just a couple of kilos of gunpowder is a serious safety hazard. Oh, I could believe that. I don't know much about all that stuff. I don't really ever faff about with it. You know, I may not always be the cleanest. But I do know that I don't have any dangerous things in my house. I don't really like the argument that nothing happened. Just because nothing happened doesn't mean we should tolerate dangerous storage of goods. I don't think we should tolerate it. I did say I think they should have some kind of punishment. But, hey, we just unlocked a router drop. Neat. But I do not think that the punishment should be so great that they can't ever hire anything again. Because that would be kind of, you know, that would mean them making them homeless. Seems a bit excessive. Maybe that's just me though. Alright. Open up. How nice. Alright, we have time to build some proper roller coasters. Because we're probably at like 4,500 soft gas cap now, maybe even nearing 5,000. So we're quite a bit ahead. And we're doing well with our number of guests. One of the towers is not connected. Is it not? It is not. Thank you. My cat sitter sent me a picture of the cat licking his hand and I think I have been replaced. Ooh. Do I hear some juicy drama? Fire all the staff. Well, that was predictable. Alright, how fast can I do this by hand? I'm definitely clicking much faster than it's actually firing them. I think. Gotta fire another 120 once. You missed the exit paths for the inf ships. Did I? Build a big giga coaster. Mate, I just did that. Well, another one then, I guess. I can make it bigger. Looks like I did. This is perfectly fine. Until they break down. Because guests will find, obviously from here, they'll find a path. That's not a problem. Mark your bingo cards. Is anyone still doing bingo? What's the park value? 1 million. Dang. Woody. Oh, you want a Woody instead? That's fine. I do love a massive Woody. Alright, here will be the basis for the biggest Woody I have ever set my eyes on. And used my own hands to erect it. My own blood, sweat and tears. I could go through a small hole. Oh, I can do that. You want a Woody go through a small hole. How quaint. You know, I always wonder how often my mom catches these kinds of jokes. Because I know she watches sometimes. I wonder how often she watches with this kind of jokes. We'll have to just go straight for a bit. Because why not? I usually don't do that. Okay, that doesn't look great. What I need is that. Now that looks more awesomer. Marcel Vos. Usually she doesn't watch anymore around this time. She usually watches a bit of the beginning. Will you be hosting any kind of multiplayer anytime soon again? Perhaps. In Alton Towers, they aren't allowed to get their woody erection get any higher than the surrounding wood. Yeah, they got really creative with that. They make their coasters dive deep into the ground, for example. Deep into the mud holes. I do wonder, right? Will we ever build a wooden coaster and not make a billion woody penis jokes? It's so default. You know what would be even worse? If someone like Chris Sawyer was like, alright, I'll see what this Marcel guy is about. And then he joins the stream and I'm like, massive woody! Imagine that. I should be studying for my databases exam tomorrow, but my brain is fried after getting up at 5 AM for F1. Good luck with your exam. I didn't pay any attention when we did databases with computer science in high school. And then years later, I actually did build a database for my computer for some speed skating statistics. Can I hire staff again? Yes, I can. So I had to learn all the database stuff. Of course, I would have still had to learn a lot even if I did do it in school. Because it's not like we would have gone that much into that anyway, into depth. And would have forgotten a lot because that would have been like 8 years ago. But still. I do like MySQL. It's very useful to me. It allows me to just instantly look. Whoa. Okay. It allows me to just instantly look through all the speed skating results I have in the database, which are a lot. A few 100,000 lap times. And just find whatever I'm looking for. It's actually truly amazing, because today I was looking for... should have at least one water splash. Today I was looking for 1500 meters, where the second lap was faster than the first lap. Now, for those of you who don't know much about speed skating, that basically never happens. But I think there are thousands of 1500 meters in my database. Skated by many different people. So it took me a few minutes to alter a query I already had so that it would exactly look up what I was looking for. And then it showed it me in seconds. So instead of having to manually go through every single competition from 2006 until now, because those are all the ones in my database, it just took me a few minutes of making a correct search term. And there it was. And it turns out it had happened, I think, like 8 times. Which is not much. Considering you have like at least like 10 competitions every year. Every competition has an average of like 30, 40 people on the 1500 meters. By the way, the reason I just said whoa was because for some bizarre reason this ride crashes. Oh, I guess we're gonna need to go faster. Now, for some bizarre reason, I tried to use Shift and Backspace to close all my windows. You may be wondering, what's weird about that? That's the normal shortcut. It is. But I've been using Z for that for nearly 2 years. For some reason, I just defaulted back to Shift plus Backspace. Were the first lap times really slow in those cases? Yes. Yes, they were. Usually that would be more long distance skaters who skated the 1500 meters. Okay, this bit has to be different. So, while they can't get up to speed quickly, they can keep it up for a long time. And that's how you get with people who have really consistent lap times through 1500 meters. While the fastest 1500 meters always have the last lap much slower than the first. And I can really look for anything. Like today, a friend and I were looking for whether a podium where the first place was Russian Second place was German. And third place was Dutch. Whether that had ever happened. It turns out, in the 17 seasons I have in my database, that podium happened twice. Even though there are more than 100 competitions every year, all across different distances and stuff. So it was once in 2005 and once in 2021. Obviously, manually looking through all the results to look that up is... I mean, it's possible, but you don't do that for a simple, quick statistic like that. Because there's way too much work. But I have a specific query, search term, for looking through those podiums. So all I have to do is change the 3 letter codes of the countries that I want to have in the first, second and third position. And then just fire it off. So it takes me like 20 seconds to find the answer. Absolutely delicious. Love the database. Alright. 7.51 excitement, 9.60 intensity, and 5.21 nausea. Yeah, SQL is absolutely fantastic. You know, I've used it so much ever since I made the database. I don't know if Max is here at the moment, but he was a big help in kind of getting it all running correctly and, you know, choosing the right schema. Some of your swing ships still needs path. Does it now? I need an info kiosk here. No, I do have a food stall. I need a first aid stall still. Alright, let's have a look at that swinging inverter ship. Looks fine to me. Can we swinging ship? I don't think I have a normal swinging ship. Well, here is your requested massive, massive, massive woody. Important question, SQL or SQL? I think I use them interchangeably. I think I mostly say SQL. Also, how was your trip to Insel? It was absolutely amazing. Of course, you know, watching the competition was amazing. But even better was meeting a lot of skaters. Taking pictures with a lot of skaters. You know, talking to them. And just the entire vibe of everything. You know, seeing fellow speed skating fans. A lot of people from the Netherlands. That woody looks really fun to ride. Kinda does. I made a quite a reasonable roller coaster this time. How are we defining a ton of guest? I don't know, just a lot. Just constant advertising and constantly having a higher soft guest cap than guest count. We're at 5,080. So we're not that far ahead of the guest count anymore. We can still fit a lot more guests in here. Is it pronounced data or data? It's pronounced data. Or is a very posh English would pronounce it data? Tomato or tomato? I say tomato. Some people say tomato. But I prefer the way tomato sounds. But might just be a weird quirk that I have. What right shall we build here? How about the Enterprise? Router or router? I mean, in Dutch we say router, so... I don't know, I don't talk about that much in English. Well, I would probably say router. Hey, we got an award, nice. But a lot of these, you know, kind of less used words, like router, I might not necessarily know what I say. Because I don't say the word very often. Some of my Belgian teachers say hash pay to HP. The programming language, right? Wait, no, that's PHP. HP is... What's HP again? It's like a computer brand. I forget. Yeah, okay, computer company. Okay, I have a question that I saw discussed on the PC Master Race subreddit, and I'm kind of curious what your answer is to that. So, my PC, how I got it is I went to a website and I told them I would like that motherboard, that memory, that CPU, etc. Can you assemble it for me and deliver it to me, please? Also have Windows installed. Is that A, a custom built PC, or B, a pre-built PC? I did select the parts myself, but I did not build it myself. Okay, everyone says custom. That does clear something up for me, because you know, I don't frequently visit the PC Master Race PC, but sometimes it comes up in like r/all, right, on Reddit. And I often see people saying, you know, don't go pre-built, go custom build. They say build your own PC. I always interpreted that as literally build it yourself. But in that thread, also a lot of people said that they thought the same as me, while others said, no, pre-built is when you indeed just get an off-the-shelf one and get that one. So, while they might mean a thing, it's not always clear. And I do think it's a very good idea to, you know, at least pick your own parts. You don't have to actually build it yourself. I didn't do that either. But if you're quite a heavy user, I do think it's a very good idea to pick your own parts. Not literally pick your own parts. Like, if you don't know shit about computers, have someone help you. Max Arceus helped me, for example. I mean, not that I know nothing about computers, but I don't know that much either about hardware. I'm a little bit better with software. Pre-built is like a suit from a big brand. Custom built is like a suit from a tailor. Where you say some things you might like. Yeah, when I bought this computer that I'm using right now, at first there was some company I saw, and I was like, all right, I messaged them, you know, seeing if I could get some help, you know, just some general advice. And I was like, you know, I'm a Twitch streamer, I'm a YouTuber, and I think, you know, I need a computer, and yada yada yada. And then he was like, oh, I think you'll like our off-the-shelf thing. That was the response I got. Some kind of computer cost like $2,000, and, you know, not a bad PC, probably. But instead of helping me kind of pick parts, he was immediately, oh yeah, just do this off-the-shelf thing. Some kind of customer support, whatever thing. I was immediately had like, you just lost me as a customer. That's not what I wanted. So I went, and you could pick parts on their site, but I went to a different site. And that worked much better. And with some help from Max, choosing the parts. But getting a build was quite cheap, cost like $100. And I'm, you know, that kind of stuff, I'm very much of the mindset, just pay others to do that kind of shit. So that, first off, you have warranty, but also assuming that the people that you hire to do it are actually good at the job, which they should be, you know it's been done by someone who knows what they're doing. I would be terrified of messing something up if I had to build my own computer. I mean, I'm not building my house for a reason either. Okay, what's our soft guest gap? 54.90. We're losing the battle. I need to build more corkscrews. PC builds aren't as hard as people think. It's mostly plugging things into sockets. I've heard that before, and sure. But the thing is, you might do one thing wrong. You know, put the pressure where you shouldn't put pressure. Or something like that. And you lose a lot of money. Also, the only direct experience or direct anecdote I have from people who actually did build their own PC said it took them like 2 full days, the two of them, and they didn't have much experience, but I didn't either. Still don't. And it was a nightmare. And it's not like they were stupid people. The banner is gone from a few corkscrews. Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's counted as a normal ride instead of like a normal wait, no, it appeared again. Huh. It was a normal path for a bit. Now it's back into a queue line. When I opened it. That's weird. 2 full days is way too long to build a PC. A newbie should be able to build it in 3 to 4 hours. Well, obviously things kept going wrong. I don't know if they ever... if I even asked this specifically at the time. It was years ago. So I wouldn't remember anyway. But I know that things went wrong. And eventually they got it to work, but it took a very long time. You know, my greatest nightmare when building a PC is first of just breaking apart. But assuming I'm not breaking any parts, it's building the PC, having it all be in order, you know, having it all in the correct place and whatnot, and then starting it up and it's just not working. And then trying to troubleshoot. What did I do wrong? What did I plug in where? And I have enough experience with troubleshooting code that I know how much of a nightmare troubleshooting stuff can be. If it should work, but it doesn't for some reason that you have no idea what it is. I don't think it'll make that. Either way, I think I would have eventually been able to finish my own PC, sure. But I just don't wanna. I could eventually figure out. I could figure out how to do my own taxes, but I can't be arsed because it's a bit more. It's complicated with me all being a YouTuber and stuff. So I hire people to do it for me. Same thing, right? Taxes are more scary since you can get in trouble for it. I don't know, but losing a few $100 because you screwed up your computer is, I mean, not legal trouble, but it's not nice either. $6969. We might not be there yet, but we'll see. Look at this. We're not even at 5,800. We've lost like 80 guests. 75 guests have left the park. Barely any. Which is a very good job. And yeah, 5555555 is still there. Not for long. I do like just hiring people to do stuff if you can't be asked to do it yourself. You know, assuming you've got the money for it. Not that I do it that often, but for stuff like building PCs. Or, you know, perhaps doing some kind of home renovations. Like, sure, my stepdad could have probably installed the new kitchen himself that they got a few years ago. He's a very handy guy. But he just had people install it for him. Or for them. I really don't trust others to do a good job. But they're literally trained to do the job you're paying them to do. You sound like a McDonald's manager. Hire people to do stuff nobody likes. You mean people don't like installing kitchens? Like, what makes you think people don't like that? There's plenty of people who like doing that kind of hands-on job. I mean, there's painters, there's all the people, that kind of stuff. I've seen trained people do horrible things. Obviously. That happens. But let's say you're me. Like, I can easily put an IKEA build together. But I'm not super handy. But I'm not stupid either, you know. But why would I ever try installing my own kitchen, which would take a long time? I would likely make some mistakes. Or just hire some people who have trained to do that. And have them do it, pay them well. And not worry about it. Like, the chance that they make mistakes, do things wrong, is vastly lower than the chance that I make mistakes and do things wrong. Also, yeah, if they screw up, usually they will fix it for you. Like, I don't know what it was, but my mom had some issue. No, my stepdad, what it was, had some issue with his car, coming with new tires or something. And so he went to the garage and got new tires or whatever, and after he drove away, it was like, hang on, that noise shouldn't be there. And he felt something as well, so he went back and was like, hey, something's wrong. And they were like, oh, yeah, that's right, we made a mistake. Alright, we'll fix it for you. Free of charge. Because they made a mistake. I understand wanting to do things yourself. And there are a few things, there are a few times I've done that too, right? A few years ago, I lived at my parents' place for a few months. And that included getting my old computer set up there. Because, you know, I was still working on YouTube. So, we had to move my computer. And when carrying my computer in and out of my home and their home, I was the one carrying it. Now, granted, otherwise it would have been my mom, who is not any more qualified than me. But that was a case like, I will carry my own computer, because if I drop it, I only have myself to blame. And we're not in the awkward situation that you are to blame. And also, that's something I would only trust myself with. And I think even with a moving company, I would only trust myself with it. Paying for the convenience makes sense, but knowledge is power. Knowing how much an air filter costs and how easy it allows you to avoid your dealer charging you a stupid amount for it. I guess so. You're not wrong. But you also can't do everything yourself. Because we're now talking about home repairs and that kind of stuff. Some people are really handy, but they might not be car people. Or they might have someone else do their taxes, maybe their kids. You know, that kind of stuff. Or you might order your groceries, have someone deliver them. Fire all the stuff. You know what? I'm gonna be lazy. There we go. Someone was fixing a ride. The funny thing is even, do you ever order food? Someone else makes it for you. Do you trust them? We all rely on others to do stuff for us. Even if you don't go to restaurants. You haven't grown your own food. Do you trust the roads outside? Have you built your own house? What ride shall we build? How about... We kind of have built most of them, haven't we? How about spiral coaster? I don't trust the roads outside until I go to the south for about half an hour. It took me a while to figure that one out. I assume you live in Brabant. The cracks in my house and the roads in Belgium tell you enough? I'm pretty sure that the cracks in your house are still a lot better than whatever you could build yourself. Yeah, I've been to Belgium. The roads are not good, but we are exaggerating when we talk about Belgian roads. A lot of roads are just fine. Oh, I need a drink. That's nice. I live in Pothole City. I rarely see any potholes. They're incredibly rare here. There's something so healing about looking at some RCT on Sunday. I can entirely understand that feeling. How about a nice long queue line? There we go. We got the very ugly spiral roller coaster done. God, this coaster type is ugly. Look at those ugly ass trains. Wouldn't you agree that this is one of the ugliest ride types in the game? Look at it. Look at it. Just look at it. It's so ugly. And this track as well. It's kind of a small coaster track, but the coaster type itself is kind of somewhat big. So you use a small coaster track for a big coaster type. It just doesn't work and it's ugly and I hate it and it should die. At least it isn't the hardline. I prefer the hardline coaster over the spiral coaster. Not in terms of how good it is, don't get me wrong. Spiral coaster is miles better. Of course. But I like the hardline more. Okay, how about we build one of these all the way in the back. All the way in the back. Doesn't have to be that big. That's big enough. Only spiral coasters and slides. Oh, I like the spiral slide. Spiral slide's an iconic ride type. And it looks beautiful. What bad coaster type would you like to see improved? None. I think all coaster types are in a good place. I think it's nice to have bad coaster types and good coaster types. Now, as much as Hardline is an absolutely terrible coaster types in terms of functionality and stuff, it's a lovely ride type for the, if only for the meme. Because the meme about how bad the Hardline coaster is has been a positive for the community at large. Alright, let's hire staff again. I don't think I'm rich enough for this. Hang on. I need to fire them all. I need to have not that many. Fire entertainers. I couldn't fire all of these. There we go, that's good. Okay, now I need to fix some vandalisms. Oh, the guest count is actually going down. Well, this bout of no staff has actually had a significant negative effect. Which is a shame. Yeah, lots and lots of people are leaving the park. Another 88 are in the process of leaving. That's such a shame. Lots and lots of vandalisms as well. Jesus! That's a lot of vandalism. Shouldn't you fix the crash? Wait, a crash happened? What do you mean a crash happened? Oh. I didn't know. I truly didn't realize. This window must have popped up. I don't know what I was doing at the time. I guess I kind of just tuned it out. You literally clicked away the window. Yeah, I was busy with something else, I think. I didn't know. I just didn't realize. Has that ever happened before? That I just I mean, I may have like. Did I even acknowledge it? I just entirely forgot. Oh, I was firing some stuff. Right. I mean, you do have a lot of windows open when you do that. So it kind of makes sense that I was distracted. Okay, I think I've gotten most of the vandalism. If not all. That looks good. That's so weird that I just didn't notice at all. My brain just didn't register, hey, there's been a crash. Well, there we go, it's fixed now. The woody that crashed. Counter vandalism. Well, if some vandals died on it, then sure, that'll work. Just kill the vandals. And get rid of vandalism that way. It's not the most elegant solution. But it does work. It's kind of what El Salvador is doing. They're not exactly killing them necessarily. But they are basically throwing anyone in jail. And battling crime that way. And it seems to work. Doesn't mean it's necessarily a good thing. I want to get off Mr. Bones' wild ride. You know, Mr. Bones is such a fascinating meme, right? Because it's all in the meme. Because the ride itself is not that long. It's 70 minutes. Which sure is a very long car ride. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not like it's not famous because it's a super insane long ride. Like anyone can easily make a longer one. That's not the point of the meme. The point of the meme is just how weird and Mr. Bones and creepy it is. And whoever crafted it did a phenomenally good job. It's amazing. It just worked so well. You know, I've gotten a lot of views on some videos. On longest coaster videos and calculator and whatnot. But not in terms of like that kind of influence, I'm not close to Mr. Bones yet, at least not with a single thing. Because Mr. Bones is so iconic. Yeah, the ride never ends as well. Yeah, the old green text storytelling method helps too. And I think it's a very good meme. It's a very harmless meme. Have you seen Fangamer? They are selling official RCT merch with Mr. Bones on it. I think I've seen that. Would help if I spelled it correctly. I think that's just the official merch thing, right? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I've seen that. You know, maybe I should save this bar. Don't worry, I have autosave on. So, it's been saved regardless. That is one thing I've been kind of less diligent with. As now autosave exists, I don't save as often myself anymore. Which, the few times that autosave wasn't enabled, has bitten me in the backside. Not every time, sometimes, of course, it's not a problem. You either do save yourself or you don't need your saves. But it has bitten me in the behind a few times with me not saving. Because I'm not used to it anymore. I am used to it with other stuff. Like when I'm video editing, I basically save after every little action I do. It's become such a habit. Just, you know, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, Ctrl S for save. Okay, we're nearly at 7,000 guests. Beyond 7,000 guests, the natural gas generation rate gets cut in 4. Now that is a very tall top hat. I think it will still go more than 100 kilometers an hour there, so putting a small banked turn there probably not the best idea. That's better. Okay, we should test it. Is 111 even fast enough? Yes. It is fast enough. Good. Okay, so I have a question for you guys. You remember my Rollercoaster Tycoon 1 no path video, right? Can you beat Rollercoaster Tycoon 1 without building path? I had a lot of fun doing it, it did very well, it was an interesting challenge. What other challenges would you like to see? I've been watching YouTuber streamer Small Ant a bit again, and his Pokemon challenges are a lot of fun. But I'm a bit struggling to come up with similar challenges for Rollercoaster Tycoon. Beating RCT without having people leave the park. You see, the problem with that is that that's too easy. Because Maze Trap. How many guests can you kill and still pass the challenge? That is a more interesting one. I like that one. I like that very much. You already beat it without people leaving. I've beaten a few scenarios without people leaving, not the entire game. Can you beat RCT with only merry-go-rounds? Fun fact, the original idea for No Path was literally that. Then I decided that that was, first, a bit too easy, but also a bit too samey. Like every scenario would be the same. It is possible, because in the original RCT1 you have the merry-go-round available in every scenario. So that does work. But it every time would just be spam merry-go-rounds. And in my No Path run I could sometimes do different stuff, like build some crazy coasters or whatever. But you can't do that if you can only build merry-go-rounds. Tracked right with no right turns, left turns only. Yeah, I like those kind of ideas, but they don't add much, right? Can you beat RCT without building roller coasters? That's just an easier only merry-go-round run. Beat a scenario with one bad coaster type only. The problem with that is, well, first off, there are some scenarios where you need to build multiple coaster types. Well, not in the original RCT1, but in RCT2, like Infernal View, so that just doesn't work. But also, a bad roller coaster is still a good ride. I've gotten so many suggestions about, you know, ooh, beat Roller Coaster Tycoon with only hardlines. Easy! The hardline's a great ride. It's a terrible roller coaster, but it's a great ride. I feel like you've already shown how hard RCT can be broken if you really try. Yeah, that's the problem, right? That's part of the problem. And maybe I need to stop thinking in, oh, that's easy. Maybe I just need to do those kinds of challenges and make it entertaining. It doesn't necessarily have to be very difficult, I think. But that's difficult for me. It's difficult for me to shake the thought, what's the point, because it's easy. I think I might have some excessive G-forces here. But I like the killing one. I really like the killing one. One of the reasons I like it is because there is no reachable goal. Like beating Roller Coaster Tycoon with only merry-go-rounds, you still only have to get 500 guests in Leafy Lake. But killing as many guests as possible, there's no upper limit. How about a scenario involving building no coasters that meet stat requirements? That's kind of just like building flat rides. Kill 1 million and win the scenario would be interesting. If a scenario has no deadline, that's technically easy, I guess. It takes forever, but it's like you can just take your time and easily do it. But in Roller Coaster Tycoon 1, I believe they all have deadlines. Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's also kind of point. You know, you can do it in Roller Coaster Tycoon 1, but in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, it'd be like, how many guests can you drown? Okay, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. No deadline. Infinite? So you kind of have to do it in RST1. Otherwise the answer is just infinite. Wouldn't you kill everyone in the last second to get as many as possible to avoid park rating drops? Yes. What you would do is just accumulate as many guests as possible to keep the park rating high so that more guests spawn. Then about a month before the deadline, you kill everyone so that the park rating has recovered just in time. Well, I mean everyone, not everyone, you need to keep enough guests to beat the goal. Beating RST scenarios by hitting the goal exactly. That is an interesting one. I do like that one. And yeah, with park rating, that's hard, but not impossible. Definitely not impossible. It would also be interesting with a coaster building challenge. Because you would have to get exactly 6 or exactly 7 exitements. I love how immediately very well used this path is. Makes me feel valued by the guests. Ew, we got the water coaster. Not a terrible coaster type. Underground parks. You know what the downside of underground parks is? The challenge is not bad. The challenge is kind of nice. It just looks terrible on video. If I only built underground parks, how am I gonna make that video look interesting? Because constantly having this on, oops, that on, and building, you know, at rides, that one's too tall. Building rides like that, and constantly having this switch off because you finished building your ride, is ugly. It doesn't, I mean it works, it doesn't really work well for video. Built a park with 2,000 guests and have none of them complaining about overcrowding. Ooh. Oh, that's the easy actually. Just trap them in a queue line and they'll be fine. Yeah, or just a maze trap. Hang on, just do a maze trap. Because they don't complain about overcrowding if they are trapped on a single tile. They only check for overcrowding when they move to a different tile. You see, the problem is as well with these, like, it's kind of my mindset, as I talked about earlier. Because a lot of these things, I say, oh, that's easy. Yeah, it's easy for me. I know the solution, but for other people, that might be very interesting. The thing is, for me, it doesn't feel interesting because I'm within 5 seconds like, oh yeah, I know how to solve it. Just build a long queue line, trap the guests in it, and you'll be fine. So, for me, it's not a challenge. So it doesn't feel very difficult, so the video might not feel worth it. You know? It might not feel like... Because then I'll be like, ooh, can I do it? And in my head, when I write it, I'm like, yes, it's easy, you bitch. Of course you can do it. Alright, let's kill 6969. If they're still in the park, that is. And they are... Wait, no, that's 6669. They are. Try any of those challenges without cheesing it. Well, what's cheesing? Like, build a park with 2,000 guests and have none of them complain about overcrowding. I don't think you can do that without cheesing. And with cheesing, I assume you mean trap them in queue lines. But my question about what's cheesing is serious. Because is building a ride with a long queue line, is that cheesing? Just a ride with a long queue line. No trapping, just building it. Is that cheesing? Alright. Okay, doesn't really work on this right type. We'll take the wooden coaster. Is this cheesing? Having added 40-second minimum waiting time? So that guests are in the queue line longer because you're lowering the throughput. Is that cheesing? No? A minute? Or if 40 is cheesing, what about 20? What about going back to one train? That's the problem with saying no cheesing in those kind of challenges. You can disable certain things. Like, for example, you may not trap the guests in the park. They must always have a way out. So you can't do a proper maze trap. But the problem is, if you just say no cheesing... Cheesing in Roller Coaster Tycoon is kind of taking an optimization that you would normally do to the extreme. People call this cheesing, right? All these microcoasters. Fair enough, I understand. But building two boomerang coasters, two identical boomerang coasters, one here and one here, that's fine. Almost no one would call that cheesing. But building a dozen microcoasters is just the same, but further optimized. So the question is, at what point does it become cheesing? How small can my coasters be before you're like, oh, you're cheesing? And how many boomerangs can I build before I'm just spamming them? 2 is fine if your park is a bit big. Even if your park is not very big, you could probably play it off at like a synchronized thing. That's fine. You know, real parks do that. And I'm not just being pedantic for the sake of being pedantic here and be like, and so that I can get away with more. The whole point is, if you're doing a no cheese rule for those kind of challenge runs, you need to actually properly define what cheesing is. And if you properly define what cheesing is, then of course I'm allowed to go as close to that line as possible. But then people will just say, oh, but you know, you're still cheesing because you're still optimizing as much as you can. Yeah, well, that's the point of the challenge. And I think that's also a point I kind of failed to make when I made my video about are microcoasters cheating. Because they kind of are. Because I'm not stupid. I know why people say microcoasters are cheating. Or cheesing, or whatever word you want to use. But it's also like, meanwhile, I've made my point. I'm no point in repeating it. And now it's kind of difficult for those challenge runs, because if I do a challenge run and I'm like, well, I just built 15 maze traps and we won the challenge. It's not particularly interesting, is it? Although I guess, you know, small and mostly just Pokemon stuff, I guess that is kind of their thing too. In Nuzlocke, for example, like people say Nuzlocks are hard. They're not. Nuzlocke are piss easy. What the Nuzlocke is you're only allowed to catch one Pokemon per route. And if a Pokemon faints, it dies. And you can't ever use it again. You either have to delete it or put it in the PC box. And they say that that's easy. That's very difficult. You can actually lose there. If all your Pokemon die in a battle, I mean, you haven't lost in the game, but you have lost the challenge. Well, I mean to tell you, Nuzlocke are stupidly easy. Just have one Pokemon and train it on wild Pokemon for a very long time until it's stupidly high level. And it's easy, you can't lose. Now there are extra rules that you can put in place, like level caps, that kind of stuff. But still, you know, you could just buy a ton of items. Well, you have rules that you can't use too many items or whatever. But that's again kind of rules against cheesing, because a lot of challenges in those kind of video games that are not reaction based, you can almost always cheese. Alright, let's get rid of the staff. Yeah, what makes a Nuzlocke hard is people's impatience. You can only build realistic real-life coasters, so a wooden coaster needs to have the Troy or El Toro layout. Well, or one of many others. Does that mean I can spam boomerangs? That's a real coaster. Alright, here are a few Giga Coasters. We're already on 8,000 guests. That's quite a lot. How about some space rings? Boomerang counts as one and maximum one of the same layout. Alright, I hear you. So, I'll just add one straight piece somewhere. There's definitely some boomerang in the real world that's slightly different. And I can still claim that it's a boomerang. You know, when people talk about OpenRCT2 doing a rebalance of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, and they, you know, they'll be like, you know, only different designs count for the soft guest cap. Design has to be different. So, for example, this would give 100. This, the second one, would give nothing, or half, 50, and then the third one would give 25, something like that, right? It decreases. Alright, fair enough. What about that? Gives 100, thank you very much. Oh, look at that. Another 100. Hey, 100! Because I don't know, I'll do that. That's different. That's definitely different. The funny thing is the coaster doesn't even traverse the bit behind the station. It doesn't go there at all. Still different. And that's kind of the point. Because if you would make it so that the identical coaster designs would have a severe penalty, you can just add tiny little things. And cheesing is still possible, it just looks slightly different. Removing cheese is pretty much impossible. Because if people want to remove cheese like that, because they don't like that I do it so much, well, then I'll just start cheesing a different way if I need to for a challenge. I mean, you may have noticed that in live streams I don't actually tend to cheese that much. Usually I just build a park with normal coasters. Because I can't really, you know... It's not like building parks like these is a lot of fun. It's fun to do every now and then. Like, I like doing this right now. But doing it over and over again twice a week is not fun. But I'll do it for challenges. This challenge where you must beat RST1 with the worst ever throughput a hard challenge. Well, technically the worst ever throughput is none. That's an interesting one, actually. Beating Roller Coaster Tycoon, but guests aren't allowed to ride any rides. Huh. Now that is actually a really interesting one. Maybe not the one you had in mind. But I do like it. One space ring, is that the worst? Well, no, because on a tracked ride you can just increase the minimum waiting time. And make it worse that way. I once made a ride that had a throughput of about 4 guests every 1800 in-game years. I think. So, that's about 1 guest every 400 hours. Real life hours. That's a lot lower than your little space rings. How many parks in order can you beat without building any ride twice? Every RCT1 park, I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe not. It's only 21 scenarios, right? Okay, it does make that. I also need to rehire staff. I'm allowed to do that again. We're losing guests. Basically, you can beat most scenarios with just 1 ride. So you do kind of only need 1 ride per scenario. Alright, staff manager. There we go. Alright, 448. These are all working. That should help. Even when counting stalls as a ride. You don't need stalls. Just trap them in the queue line. Build your ride, advertise, trap them in the queue line and you'll be fine. How many percent of the CPU does Tycoon for you use right now. Oh, about 6% right here. 3%, 5%. Now going up to 8%. This is quite a large park, of course. Nearly 10%. I don't know how this all works. I have quite a beefy computer. But yeah, OpenRST2 does queues quite a bit more than the vanilla game. Beating RST without any queue lines. Well, just that challenge I don't think is particularly difficult. In fact, I literally already did that. That's just an easier version of the no path challenge. Can you beat the game with only queue lines? That is a no. Guests won't enter the park if the first tile is a queue line. At least, I think in RST2 Vanilla they don't. There was some version of the game at least that they don't. Only toilets. No, that's not possible. You can't get 1,000 guests on only a toilet. You can do Forest Frontiers with only a toilet, but that's about a limit. Okay, no, not transparency options. Highlight vandalism. Oh, crap. Whoopsie daisy. I at least registered that crash. I'll fix it later. Now the park value scenarios are impossible with only toilets as well. Of course they are. Especially in Rollercoaster Tycoon 1, where the sprite limit is just 5,000. Instead of the 10,000 from RST2 and the 15,000 from Classic. I guess it's worth 7. I don't know if it's 7 in 1 as well, but it's 7 in 2 at least. So 10,000 guests is 70,000 park value. So with just guests, that's the maximum you can get, and the actual maximum is a bit lower actually. Now that would be 35,000 in RST1, and considering all the park value goals in RST1 are about 10 times as low, because the park value from rides and stuff is 10 times as low, 35,000 is actually a lot. That's why I don't know if guests actually give 7 in RST1, because that would seem kind of overpowered to me. But I don't know, maybe they do. I just need to research into it. It's not difficult, just need to do a few tests. Just have no rides and like one guest in your parks, see what it does. Can you beat the game without drowning any guests? No, I've already made a video about that and I failed spectacularly. Weren't you like the one that beat the first RST park with only one toilet? Yes. But that's a 250 guest goal. Later guest goals are 1,000 guests. Or in RST2, up to 4,500. You don't do that with just a toilet. Alright. Well, this is where we are right now. We have quite a big park. We have over 8,000 guests. This was a good test. Yes, I say test. You'll see why. I'm gonna save and I'm gonna shoot you off to someone else. Because it's enough for me tonight. I'm gonna see who I can find to raid. Yeah. Ooh, we have someone called Jakery Don't.
Which one?
Whoops. Didn't mean to have that on the stream. Can we do one last drowning? Sure. There you go. That's a drowning. I need to save it, of course. Alright. An upset guest. The guy was probably upset he drowned. I don't think we'll have many vandals anymore. It's been too long. Yeah, it doesn't seem like we have vandals. Alright. If you want the channel points back, let me know. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you not on Wednesday. I'm busy on Wednesday. But keep an eye out for Friday. Alright. Thank you very much. Have fun at Jakery's stream. Say hello to him from me. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Good night.